There is nothing better I can think of than sun gazing through the trees in a majestic forest. Absolutely.
So, I will say this to motivate. I know I repeat myself, but the truth is simple, and the truth has to be said. We are the gods and goddesses of the past, of the future, of the eternal now. We descended into this chaos in order to determine that love is the answer. And therefore, this is being rediscovered, and along with it, the Aurora Borealis, is being reawakened. We have spilt our blood over our divine intent. We were contracted to Hades, to the land of the dead, where you are right now. But we are recontracting ourselves out of it, reestablishing our divinity, proclaiming to the universe that we are not dead, we are alive and well, and not only that, we are the eternal children of the Black Sun. And so, the divine feminine force is coming back around. We have been stuck in the toxic masculine. So with this divine feminine force coming back, we are realizing that flow is the answer, that creativity is sacred, that communication is not about dominance, it's about communion. And wisdom stems from this union of the masculine, which we've been in, and then the feminine. So with this union, with our blood magic, with all of these realizations, this shadow work we're going through, we shall be ascending to Hyperborea, where we never left. We have been dreaming up this state, and so this Axis Mundi, Mount Meru, which we talk about, is the cosmic pillar of ourselves. It is the macrocosmic reflection of our own cosmic pillar. And so, right before 2020, when we shall see with 2020 vision, we will indeed activate our Merkabas collectively. These are our light body vehicles. Everybody who did Blood Over Intent, this will happen to you. This is an effortless process. I keep getting people saying, what if I don't ascend? What if I don't this? Your higher self is on a timeline right now. Your higher self is breathing into you the very gnosis you need right before this ascension. So you won't be left behind if you did Blood Over Intent. I'm for sure not going to be left behind. And once we're in our own spaceships, collectively we shall ascend up and up the levels of Mount Meru, leave this matrix, leave this toroidal field, go back into the same toroidal field, and reconfigure it into the 5th dimension, which we never left. We're going back to the 0 point, baby. All hail Sophia, all hail Ma'at. I love you all.
I am Hermes, messenger of the gods, here to bring the Great Mother's divine message. So, during this ascensional process, during this unraveling, where all children of the Black Sun are basically coming face to face with their innermost shadows in almost real time, we are being called to express forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness is the main antidote in order to release us out of our self-inflicted bondage and embrace love above will. Now, being in a state of forgiveness is not about anybody else but yourself. It is about letting go of the burden of resentments that you carry. Because when we are resenting an action somebody performed, if we are holding on to something they did in the past, well, this inevitably means we're stuck in dualism, because as we've been talking about on this channel, time is an illusion. It is only the eternal now, the here and now, the present, which is a present, which truly only exists, and this is the moment which can only affect future timelines and past timelines. And why do I say past timelines? Well, we believe the past to be set in stone. But when we forgive people, when we forgive ourselves, when we forgive the universe for the wrongdoings that happened in the past, we actually create a new timeline where our past is no longer haunting, where our past is actually building us up more than we thought it previously did. Again, forgiveness is not about anybody else. It's about releasing ourselves from the grip that hinders our well-being. When we hold on to things and say, you did this, or I did this and I must be punished, or we must feel bad for these things we've done. This is not forgiveness. This is will above love. You are imposing your will on a situation which already should be harmonizing. And this is why, in the flow state, forgiveness comes so easily. Forgiveness is easy. Resentment is the true resistance. We seem to believe that there are certain unforgivable acts, such as rape and murder and molestation and cheating in an exclusive love affair, or not showing up when you said you were going to show up for a very important business meeting or something. Well, so these things happen. These things happen. So what is the most harmonizing course of action? This is what we should be asking ourselves in every action, every thought, every situation we're in from now on. So there's bad things happening. There are things which we would not like to forgive. But in not forgiving, we place this burden that we believe to be outside of ourselves in our own hearts, in our own heads. You own your resentment, you own your consciousness, you own what is being projected back at you. I will say it again. What you see is not what you get. What you think and what you feel is what you see. And therefore, if we believe that we have to keep resisting, that we have to not forgive people, if we just want to hold situations, past attitudes, past beliefs, even past actions, there are a lot of people who have wronged you, who have wronged me, physically, mentally, spiritually. But if we are to hold on to this, then we become hardened. We become hardened. The heart cannot be manipulated by will. The heart cannot be manipulated at all. The heart emerges once we accept everything is how it is. Forgive yourself for inflicting damage upon others, for inflicting damage upon yourself. Forgive others for calling you names, for not being there when they should have been there. Karma is an ever-present force. It is unwavering, it is true, and it is pure. And what I mean by this is that whatever you plug into the black sun, whatever you plug into the ether, it will always come back at you. And we should take solace in this fact, because this means the universe, the collective field of consciousness, is consistently mirroring back to us the good and the malevolent. So if somebody who in your eyes is unforgivable, well, forgive them, and whatever price they must pay in order to clear away that ill-doing, that ill will, it will be experienced by them. It will be experienced by them in full, and it will be a teacher, it will be a guide. Just as you have been through many difficult situations in this lifetime, and that has built you up, so have I. I have suffered immensely. We all have suffered. All children of the eternal return are getting rid of this suffering. We must make sure we forgive ourselves, we forgive others, and we forgive Sophia. A lot of us have been upset at God. We have cried out in our prayers, "Why me? Why has this happened? Why am I in this dense physical body? Why do I have to breathe, I have to shit, I have to eat?" Yes, your cries have been heard. You must forgive the universe, and you must exalt the universe along with yourself, along with those who seem unforgivable. Because in doing so, you realize they are aspects of you, you are aspects of them. We are all in this cosmic dance of loss and remembrance. And every single experience we fall into which seemingly seems unforgivable, as soon as we release that, we release even more heaviness. And in doing so, we help the collective. We add a piece to this ascensional puzzle. So, my dear blood brothers and sisters, I worship each and every one of you eternally, respectfully, gracefully. Forgive. Forgive yourself. Forgive your parents. Forgive your teachers. Forgive your children. Forgive your pets for pooping where they shouldn't poop. Forgiveness is the elixir to love. And we should express this. We should absolutely, whether it be in an email, in a phone call, those who you have not forgiven, call them up. Express with your words, because we say things and we cast them into creation. Again, our words manifest. This is why the word sisters in mythology dictate our fate. And so all creation comes from sound, from expression. In the beginning, there was the Word, wasn't there? I am Hermes, messenger of the gods, at your service.
Why do we have our defenses up? Because when we are unforgiving, we are shielded. We are shielded from the world. We see everything as separate from us. I'll keep saying this. We say and designate, you are this, I am this, you are this. If you wronged me, that puts you in this kind of category. And we end up making these sweeping generalizations of others when we are in that unforgiving state. And like we keep saying, this is truly judging yourself. So being unforgiving is actually an act of judgment. And who is to judge? Nobody. Nobody is to judge. As soon as you judge something, you fragment it. You pull it apart from its environment. You pull it apart from how it affects you, how it affects it, and how the all interacts with it. So forgive. Forgive yourself. And this is an act of self-love. Even if you don't want to forgive others for their sake, you must forgive others for your sake. I am Hermes, messenger of the gods. We are the children of the Black Sun, and it's about time that we stop spanking ourselves, that we stop thinking, I'm not worthy. Oh dear, oh dear. The knots are coming undone, however. We are realizing that this doesn't solve anything. The more you put yourself down, the more you put down the collective, the more you plunge into darkness. And this is what we've done. In order to discover love, we must not resist against ourselves. If we truly believe that we won't be able to embody wholeness, well, we won't, because what we feel is determined by the conditions that we set up for ourselves. What we feel is determined by the conditions we set up for ourselves, and therefore, what we receive is exactly what we put out there.
When the heart is fully opened, we remember our divinity and allow the love of creation to flow through us. We remember that we are a fragment of the all, and this recognition of the self also helps us to recognize the divinity in everyone and everything. It is in our heart chakra where we learn to embrace and love our vulnerabilities, darkness, limitations, hurt, and pain, so we can transcend the smallness of staying just within our egos. Through the heart, we grow towards something greater and more expansive, and we now know what this is. This is what the Tibetans called Shambhala, the Vedic paradise of Aryavarsha, the Christian Garden of Eden.
heavens above, the heavens within. It started the heart, breathing in and out. We shall never depart, we shall never depart. Start the heart, the musical chairs beneath the heavens above, the heavens within. It started the heart, breathing in and out. We shall never depart, we shall never depart. We are the lumber, building the bunker, tasting the wonder. We are the lovers, infinitely stronger than we thought before. We are the lumber, building the bunker, tasting the wonder. We are the lovers, infinitely stronger than we thought before. Start the heart, the musical chairs with the heavens above, the heavens within. Started the heart, breathing in and out. We shall never depart, we shall never depart. Started the heart, the musical chairs with the heavens above, the heavens within. Started the heart, breathing in and out. We shall never depart, we shall never depart.
Yeah, I'm burning up, I'm burning up, yeah, I'm burning up, I'm coming in and yeah, I'm burning up. You hear me saying yeah, I'm burning up, I'm coming in hot, I'm simply on fire. You're gonna get the best of me, why taking you higher? I'm coming in hot, I'm simply on fire.